Good morning and welcome to the fifth quarter Northern Arizona Style. It's a great Friday morning. Want to welcome everybody for being here today. And of course, always, I want to introduce my co-host, my partner in crime, the guy that's hanging out in Phoenix today, just finished the National Parks and Rec Convention. I'm sure he was voted the president or something. But good morning. The man they call Coach of Northern Arizona, Tyrone Johnson. Good morning, Coach.
Morning, Coach. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right, man. I thought you was back in Flagstaff.
No, man. We finished up that conference yesterday, and so I had took Monday off, and I took day off. Monday we had to go kind of like transition down, so everybody left on Monday, and then we came on down. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna travel. I ain't gonna do no work, and then coming back, everybody coming back today. So I'm like, I'm just gonna travel. I ain't gonna do no work. So. So I didn't want to be on the hook for anything. So I took it off and just been down here in the Valley doing the NRPA National Conference. And so trying to educate myself, if you will.
There you go, man. There you go. That's good stuff. I miss those times. That's good time to network, meet people. And at a national convention like that, you meet people from all over the country. And so that's it's a good time to go to these classes and learn, but it's even better time to network and just mingle and meet and greet.
Man, there's so many people at the conference. I mean, thousands of people, obviously, because you got a national and everybody coming from all parts of the country. And so it's cool. And, you get to sit in, like you say, you get to network, you get to meet people. But you also get to see what's working out there in the field and, some things that you can maybe institute or, some things that you can do better. And so it's always good to get out and just, attend these things and learn and network, like you're saying. So it was good. We had probably 5 people from the rec department, like 5 people from the parks department. And so, we were well represented down this way for, the pros department.
Well, look, man, since you've been down there and did all that, give us a little heads up as far as sports recreation. What's the cutting edge? What's the trendy things coming out right now?
As far as sports and recreation, I mean, the big thing is still pickleball. Pickleball got the craze on everything, you know what I mean? That's the, I guess, fastest growing segment as far as the sport, but it depends on how you look at the numbers. Everybody can manipulate their numbers in a way to say that, oh, our segment is growing faster because, we've grown 100% in the last 2 years, and that 100% may be, okay, we had 10 people, now we got 20 people, so we're 100%. And somebody else's maybe we had 1,000 people, and now we got 1,500 people, so we've only grown by 50%.
Right.
And so it just really depends. But of course, pickleball remains a hot topic in the industry. And then a lot of stuff was about some of the stuff that Crystal talks about, in the sense that she was talking about with the mindfulness and everything, resiliency. So there were a lot of courses on that, leadership, succession planning, because people don't want to work. And so, just trying to make paths and ways so that when people are in there, they can see a viable path to where they can be promoted and stuff like that. And then as more people get closer to retirement, having that correct succession plan so that people can come in and the organization can continue to move successfully. And it's not like somebody like yourself who had a world of experience, but not necessarily everything down in a binder, although you did do a binder in your last year. Nobody know where it is, but you take a wealth of experience with you out the door when you leave.
Excuse me.
Yes, Coach.
I did have a binder. I did have everything you wrote out, how you do stuff. I was just directed to do another one.
And then we look, for the life of us, we couldn't find them binders. And so, but
I did not take anything home.
I don't know about that. But when you left, I mean, that was 30 plus years of experience that left. And so instead of somebody having to reinvent the wheel per se, just being able to use your successes to continue to make the programs go and grow. And, you know, for us, we're fortunate. Obviously, we know you, we got you back at the rec center. So we got that wealth of knowledge right there. But if you left, I left, and Crystal left, what's the next person going to do? You know what I mean? Right. And so that it was a lot of that. So there was some definitely good content. And then, of course, I guess one thing we can really hit on too is the transgender movement. And so you look and you know, when it comes to these different sports and everything, and we're talking about transgender, I mean, what are some of the things that we're going to be doing? Like, we have a youth basketball league. One thing was brought up last year, like, do we ask their gender? Do we ask if they're boy, girl, and we're a co-ed league? I know this year running adult athletics as well. One of the managers asked me, so what if I have a player that's a male but identifies as a woman? Can they be listed as a woman on my co-ed team? And so, you know, it's just questions like that. Like, you know, what do we need to be doing as a city in order to accommodate everybody?
And those are things we haven't had to deal with before, but they're very important issues. So I'm sure that they'll be taken care of in a manner that's correct for everybody and fair for everybody. So that's good stuff, man. And just seeing you out there getting it done and what you bringing back to the rec center and those kids with Crystal is just awesome, man. Just got to keep doing that. You got to keep doing that. Yep. So
no, look, we ain't gonna let you dodge a hot topic now. So when it comes to sports, you being somebody that, you know, ran the basketball league for many years, you being somebody that's in sports right now, high school coach, AAU president of Flag Hoops. How do you feel about whether it's in youth or whether it's in college, somebody that's a male but they identify as female being able to participate, say, in female sports, or if it's a co-ed, a male being able to be listed as a female because that's how they identify.
And not dodging the question, but in a case like that, you have to take your personal feelings aside. You loyal, see what the rule is, and you abide, just follow the give you and respectfully for everybody.
I think that's where we at. We don't have any rules. We don't have any. So, you know, we have to come through right now as community leaders and everything, and we have to, you know, obviously see what the industry trends are. You have governing bodies that you can look to, such as the NCAA, but you know, ultimately we have to be able to make some sound decisions and then be able to stand firmly on those. And so, you know, as we talk more and, you know, as youth basketball come up and look, I was probably supposed to be not already asked you this, but when we wanted to see if you wanted to head up youth basketball and to ask you with that, that'll be some stuff that we have to sit down and really cover and go through. So,
hey man, I told you when I came back to the rec center, I came to help out in any way I can, and any knowledge that I might have a little bit. I'm there, man. So yeah, you know, that was one of my loves, one of my joys, and for y'all to ask me to come back and help out with that, yo, man, you know, I was just telling Crystal yesterday, I'm an old guy, man, and to be able to hang out with all you young people and all these teenagers and all this, hey, man, I just don't know why me, but it's a blessing. So of course, I'm there, man. I'm all over it.
All right, we're gonna take that up. We definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, and you know, Crystal was talking about that yesterday. And I asked her, you know, well, didn't ask her, I listened to her talk to somebody on the phone and telling them, yeah, we're doing this time. And I was meaning to ask her, hey, well, what do y'all want me to do? And so now, gotcha. I got my answer. So that's good stuff, man. Just once again, I say it all the time, but people know about that. Yeah, you're my supervisor at the rec center and at the Flag High School. So I got to get, you know, over here, man. Over here. So
speaking of Flag High School, man, how did open gym go?
wait, man, I ain't through. I'm gonna continue to make your life hard. That's why I'm here. Okay, open gym. Hey, man, I'm here to have fun. I'm retired. I ain't doing this to make no money. I'm here to bother you. But open gym went really well, man. As far as girls go, we had probably anywhere from 27 to 28 girls both nights. From my understanding, Coconino's got a good group coming out. Hopefully MPA is doing as well and the basis is doing as well. And I just know that there's a lot of great boys and girls athletes in this town. And I hope we can get to the point where we're not just rooting for Flag High, not just rooting for Coconino or MPA or basis, but rooting for Flagstaff kids. You know, I mean, I think people know they may see me and you walk into a Coconino game or an MPA game anywhere because I promise you know what, we're not there scouting, we're there supporting. And so I'm just excited. You know, I went to the football game the other night, the first one I got a chance to go to. Watched the young freshman break the school record. Well, I think he broke. I'm not sure on this. Russell Woods, this is why he need to be on the show. He either tied or broke the Flagstaff High School touchdown record per game. I think he threw for 6 touchdowns. Freshman, first start. So, and was 1 touchdown away from the city record, tying the city record, from my understanding. And this was with Russell Woods on the phone during the game. So it's not, I think it's in stone. I think it's Facebook verified. I just don't know if my numbers are right, but I know he had an incredible night. He's an incredible quarterback. And you heard a lot about him and read a lot about him in the paper this past week. And he was a player of the week. Duly so, but I promise you, man, they got some wide receivers with some hands that was pulling in them catches. So, nice. So Flag High is looking well. Actually, they're 1-2 right now. They play Marcos Deniza tonight. That's 3-0. So that will be a stiff test for them tonight to see. Let's see how they handle it. You know, see if we can keep this winning streak alive. Coconino's 1-1.
So is that, Coach, is that game at Flag or are they down in the Valley?
No, actually, they have a bye this week.
Okay.
And they play Marcos Deniza next week.
Next week,
yes. And that's at Marcos Deniza.
Okay.
Then Poston Butte, Coconino plays Poston Butte. Coconino's 1-1. Poston Butte's 2-1. And I didn't get if that's home or away tonight. But once again, they're facing a team with a winning record. So, you know, we getting a chance to see some good football here in Flagstaff.
Yeah, you know, and the thing that Coconino has too is they play at Cromer Stadium. And so, you know, they had the elements that they work in, practicing, so on and so forth. Right. So if people come up from the Valley, especially depending on time of the year, it's a different feel than Friday Night Lights.
It is. It's a whole different feel.
Yeah, I actually went to football game down here, freshman football game, Shan Sim's son. So it was over at Desert Vista, and you know, we had the rain and everything down here, and just being outside, it was sticky. It was kind of humid with the overcast and stuff like that. And you know, before going over there, Shan was telling me, he was like, "Hey man," he's like, "I'll hit you up and I'll let you know if they're gonna play." I was like, "What you mean if they're gonna play?" He was like, "Yeah, because it was raining a bunch over here, so on and so forth." I say, "They canceled the game for rain?" He say, "Man, they be tripping. They might." I say, "Oh yeah, they'd never make it up in Flagstaff if they cancel it for rain."
No, I know, man. And you get down off in Coconino, off in that little hole where the field is, man. That wind get there and go to swirling around, and yeah, it's a great place to have a home game.
Yeah, you gotta be tough. You gotta be tough.
Yes, indeed. It's just, you know, it's just like soccer. I give soccer all the respect in the world. They be out there, man, in that snow, and they have on their shorts, and they out there running, and I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm a basketball coach.
Exactly. That's why we play indoor sports, because soccer, they literally come out and take the tractor out, and they plow that snow and move it to the sides, and you may have a wall, a mound of snow around the field, and they out there getting it in. I'm like, ooh, more power to them.
Right. But Coach, I got to give it, since you talked about that, and I guess everybody has figured out now we don't have a guest today. Coach Johnson is the guest, so we gonna keep him busy.
Oh, look, we up here just running our mouth. You ain't made no mention. People up here waiting.
People, who's the guest? Who's the guest? I don't want to hear y'all. But anyway, y'all gonna listen to us today. Talking about how the soccer gets and they plows the field off and stuff. There's a group of senior citizens at the rec center on the tennis courts that are there every day almost. It snows, and these are senior citizens. They're about my age. And don't start. And they get out there and they shovel the snow off the tennis courts so they can play. It's just incredible, man. They're so dedicated that one for the seniors, man.
Yeah, nah, they do. They get out there and they get it in, and then I have to get out there and monitor, make sure they don't have no metal blades on there. Got to be plastic. They can't put no snow blowers on there. So I got to go tell them you can't do that. Yeah, they come out and say, you can't put the snow blower out there. You got to get that shovel, and it got to be a plastic edge. It can't be no metal edge. They get out there and they just look at me, and they get a group of them and start pushing it with them plastic shovels.
But hey, man, you gotta give them some love and dedication to want to still stay active that bad. Hey, man, that's a lot of love. That's a lot of love. So that's good stuff, man. Absolutely. Okay. Looking at what AIA is doing in basketball and things like that. Bringing in the shot clock. And there's new changes for boys and girls basketball, high school basketball this year. Shot clock is number one. Just looking on the IA website, they're doing some readjusting of those requirements and leaving a lot of it to the states. What do you feel the shot clock should be right now?
As far as what, look, man, I've been on break, so I haven't looked at
and we're talking emphasis that the AI is looking at, or the National Federation, the NFHS. And one of the emphasis is the shot clock. Should stop, like I was reading an article and they were saying that after a kick ball, for instance, should the shot clock be reset? So first question, are we talking a 35-second shot clock, a 42-second shot clock? What do you envision? Or what is the
I think is at 35 for high school, but I think if you did like 30-second shot clock, I think that's more college stuff. I think that would, just tie in with the college game. So 30 seconds wouldn't be bad, but I believe we're going to be at 30 seconds as far as the shot goes. And then, it just really depends on the violation at hand, whether it's a change of possession, so on and so forth, as far as when the shot clock should restart. And so I don't think it should be too difficult. I mean, obviously you got a lot of models in terms of college and professional of when they stop the shot clock. I don't think we should do anything differently. Say the kickball example you're using, if on a kickball, college restarts the shot clock, then high school should. I mean, if they don't, if it's not a change of possession, then you shouldn't. And so I think it's mainly based on the change of possession when the shot clock should restart.
So you're saying any change of possession, shot clock should restart?
Correct, because it's a physical change of possession. You don't have it no longer, so you shouldn't have, the shot
you should
clock.
Get a brand new 35 seconds if the ball goes to you. That makes sense. That makes sense. So I know one of the other points of emphasis they were talking about, and I know our AD has sent some stuff out as far as monitoring the officials. I guess there's a form that the head coaches have to fill out after every game now. And I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, the form has been around, and it's an evaluation that you can fill out after each game. I mean, back when we first started, it was actually a paper form that was handed to you, and you can fill it out and you can evaluate the officials and make comments. And so point of emphasis, they really talking about sportsmanship, and so they really want the feedback from the coaches and everything. But this year, they're also requiring the refs to fill out an evaluation form on the coaches, the facility, the players, the fans. And so it gives you points towards sportsmanship, Mark. And so with that, if you're, I think if you're rated high enough, or if you're the highest rated, you'll end up getting a sportsmanship award for your school at the end of the year. So they're going to do it in each sport. And so right now you get your football and volleyball and all that type of stuff, and the officials will rate the players as far as their attitude and stuff like that, the coach, spectators. And so they're really emphasizing sportsmanship throughout, not just on the official side, not just from the coaches. They don't want the coaches be rating the officials, players popping off at the mouth, or the spectators. So they really want to create a good, fun, safe environment for all involved.
Well, good. And I think that's an important point of emphasis right now. That's not a problem we've had so far, but it's obviously a problem nationwide. So yeah, man, I think that's a good point. One of the other points of emphasis is cleaning up contact play in the post, off-ball players, and handshaking. Now, I know how we play, and do you think there's too much contact in the post? Boys and girls, it doesn't matter, just high school basketball.
Well, let's I guess let's go back to the statements that we used to hear coming up. Basketball is not a contact sport, so on and so forth. And then when you play, you really find that it is a physical sport. And then one of the things in the post, you're taught you have to have kind of a battle with your hands to try and get position, battle with your feet to keep positioning, and so on and so forth. And then defensively, you're trying to deny, you're trying to do things. So there's going to be physicality in the post. Ileana sent us an article, and I didn't get a chance necessarily to read it all because it cut off his Wall Street Journal. They was asking for a subscription. So, I would pay the subscription to read the article. So, but I think it was talking about how girls are going away from basketball nationwide as a trend. And so it was like basketball was the number one sport that they would participate in. It would have the most participation around the country. Now, I think since coming out of the pandemic, it's been like the number 4. I want to say track and field is number 1, and like basketball is number 4. I think it's track and field, volleyball, and I can't remember what else. And then basketball. I don't know if it was soccer. And one thing that it was saying in a little bit that I can read, it was something about it's too much contact, and they don't necessarily want to deal with that. And so it's just interesting that that's the point of emphasis in that article. If I could
pay the subscription.
Yeah, if I go ahead and get a subscription of Illy can tell me her stuff so I can read it, I'll check it out more. But it's definitely an interesting topic. And then if we can get some more information on it, I think we can bring that back and we can really just speak on that, and we can bring some people in and just really try and see from the female perspective, why they're going away. I mean, for us, we're not necessarily having that problem because we're getting a lot of girls wanting to come out. But, just in general, there's a lot of girls that play high school, but they're no longer want to go to college. They like, I'm cool with just high school. I'm not really worried about college. And I don't know if, that next level is too much because you're really working, you're really pushing as if it's a job, or if it's just, I like basketball, I enjoy it, but I know I want to do X, Y, and Z, and they go do that. So,
yep, that makes sense. And lastly, the third point of emphasis that they're talking about is if an official sees a girl with a hair tie that's not right, and they did talk about the new hair bun rules and the hard hair ties or whatever they are. But now they're talking about if the official sees a girl with a wrong colored undershirt or something, or nose ring, or well, all the different things that can happen. Instead of going to the girl, they have to come straight to the coach and not direct any comments to players, only to the coaches.
Well, I think that's fair in terms of when you're talking to a official, you don't necessarily want your players talking to an official about a call. You don't want the officials talking to your players about necessarily play and what they should be doing. Because you get some officials out there to be like, you should just go take that up, or you should just, and it's like, maybe that's not what I wanted to do. So, if you have anything to say to the players, direct it to me, I'll direct it to the players. And so I think you can stay consistent with that. And then as far as the players, we constantly tell the players, don't y'all be out here officiating, don't be calling, what I mean? You play the game the right way. We'll talk to the officials if there's, a question on the calls, and we'll try and get some clarification, and we'll make adjustments. I think there's appropriate times when you have like your captain, approach the official and ask a question, so on and so forth. But the officials coming to the coach about legal issue as far as apparel or uniforms or anything like that, because that's one thing they ask you in the beginning, is everybody legally equipped? And if you're telling them yeah, and then somebody's not, then yeah, they should come to the coach and be like, number 22 is not legally equipped, she has this, that, or the other.
Well, I had a ref try to tell me when to put my players in the game and when to take them out.
Yes, you did.
He gonna tell me she can't play no more, and I'm telling him, you can't tell me when to put my players in. After he just told me, you let me ref and you coach. And so when I told him, you let me coach and you ref, he got mad at me.
Look, that's one of the times you had your bad attitude on. That man wasn't doing nothing to you, and you hollering at that man.
I didn't holler at that man. That man, number one, was older than me. He should have knew better. It make no sense, man. But anyway, man, this has been a really good segment. We just sitting here talking like we normally do, and this has been 30 minutes. So if I was at the rec center, I would come in, we would talk like this. Then it'd be time for me to go on break, man. So before I go on break, I was just going to continue to do as I do Monday through Thursday or Friday. We don't have anybody for our Golden Nugget, but yes, we do. We have Coach Johnson with his own Golden Nugget advice for the community, for our young folks, some old folks. Today, I mean, on your mind, just through the discussions, just what you've seen. If somebody just said, like they said nowadays, a penny for your thoughts right now, what would that penny for your thoughts Golden Nugget be for today?
Oh man, I'm not accustomed to necessarily giving golden nuggets. I just come up with questions, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, for me, just again being down here at this conference and everything like that, and then just situations that's been going on at the rec, everything with the sports and the kids and just the different pressures that they under. My golden nugget would be to really reach out. If kids are feeling any type of way, reach out, talk to an adult. Don't try and bear like all this weight that they're bearing, whether it's social media pressure, parental pressure, peer pressure, social media pressures, because we're seeing a lot of stuff come to a head. And so we want to make sure that mentally, physically, emotionally, that you're well, that you're set up, that you're supported, you're seen, you're loved. And so anybody that's going through it, just know that there's somebody out there that really cares for you and is willing to help you. And so don't bear a lot of that stuff on your own and make some rash and irresponsible decisions. Just ask for help so that you can do the right thing.
That's good. And I like the way you put that. Now I'm going to put you in your comfort zone, and I'm going to ask you the Golden Nugget question of the day. I'm going to reverse it. That was a good one. I appreciate what you said, and that's very important. Here's the question I have for you. Put your coach's hat on. Talking to any kid in high school, freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, what do you have to do? Trials is coming up in another month.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to do to set yourself apart from everybody else? Because now you got this time to sell yourself. What do you have to do to make the team?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, for any athlete that's looking to go out for winter sports, in my opinion, your season has to start now, because when you show up, you got to be in shape. So you want to be one most in shape people that's out there. You don't want to be sitting on the sideline when everybody else is pushing because you're out of shape and you're not ready for your moment. You want to show up. If you have any open gyms or open fields or whatever it is, show up and show out. And don't do it one time and think you got it made. Be there, be consistent, be committed, and be hardworking. And then just be confident in what you're doing. When you have opportunities to play, when you have opportunities to grow, when you have opportunities to be coached, be coachable, be hardworking, be committed, and be consistent.
Right. And take care of your school.
Got to take care of the schoolwork, because if you ain't got the grades, you ain't playing anyway. So that should be a given.
Right. And I think at Flag High, you take it a little bit further than most coaches, correct?
Well, we do in terms of when you talk about tryouts. We've had situations where we've had a girl who made the team, was probably going to be in the top, 6 rotation projected starter, that we cut because once we pulled the grades in trials, she had like 2 Fs, and that's just unacceptable. And then as we go through the season, if you have an F, you're ineligible. If you have a D, you're good to go. But for us, if you have a D, you're going to sit out a quarter for every D that you have. And it's not going to be like, okay, you're my best player, and so the quarter you're going to sit out is the 4th quarter. You're my best player, you're a starter, you're sitting on the bench because you're not handling your business in the classroom. And so, for us, academics is very important. Right. And we want to make sure that they understand that basketball or sport period is a privilege. Mm-hmm. And so in order to partake in that privilege, you got to handle yourself in the classroom, and then in turn, handle yourself when you're outside of the classroom, when you're outside of the basketball court, when you're in your social settings. Make the right decisions so nothing comes back to affect you on the court.
Right. Now, you're not just representing yourself. You're representing a whole lot of people.
Yep. And always keep that in mind. You represent your family, your coaches, your school, your community. And so, when you're an athlete, as they say, much is given, much is expected. And so, when you're given opportunity and you make a team, there's a lot of expectations. And so you're going to be held to a higher standard on many fronts and many levels than what your peers may be who are not on the sports team.
Coach, I think that was a great golden nugget for you today, man. I think it's really important to teach kids, see that, understand that. And it's coming from somebody who's been here for 17 years, but probably the longest longevity of any coach in the city right now. And been very successful. So appreciate that, man. So now I guess it's time for you to get on out there, huh?
Yeah, man. And look, we just had Coach Painter on here. She been there, I think, 18 or 19 years. So don't put me above her. I'm chasing her in everything that we do.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Well, hey, that's very successful. Very successful. Yes, it's a good thing she stayed with us this long, because I know she could have went somewhere else. So I talked to her yesterday or day before yesterday and told her I missed not being there while she was on the show. So well, if she's got that longevity record, then you keep chasing it, brother. And I'm right behind you. I'm right.
Yeah, no, you there. I mean, you got 3 more? Well, 4 including this season, and then you're gonna be in the Arizona Coaches Hall of Fame for being there for 20 years. I think 20 years they put you in the Hall of Fame, so you close.
Hey, you can't be putting the Hall of Fame from what I do. What you do is you got. I'm looking at that floor having your name on it. So we got to do this right. We got to put your name on that floor. So
Hey
your
man,
footprints, your handprints, everything.
stop all that foolishness, man. I don't know what you got to do today. You know what I mean? I don't know what everybody else got to do today, but one thing I do know, they can't stay here.
You
So
got to go.
as we close off, you got to go home, but you can't stay here.
You can't stay here, man. Peace. Have a safe trip back. I'll let you.